So I'm here with Rabbi Keller, the second part of an interview. This is the program Meaningful Interviews. We spoke about the Tzemach Tzedek being kind of the final say of how and what should go into the Tanya in our last segment. Now, how does that coincide with the Rebbe Rashab in Tofrei Samach, that's 1900, that the Rebbe Rashab, did he make any changes? I know that he asked the Chassid Rabbi Nikolayever to be Magia the Tanya because there were mistakes, right, to Usim. I'm just curious, did the Rebbe Rashab make any changes? I think he made a big change, one change, and I heard that he was concerned that his cousin, the Kopister, might be upset. Do you know what I'm talking about? Something rings in my head.
Well, the biggest change that he did in the Tanya was inserting the Hashmata. What became the Hashmata is the whole piece about Tzimtzum Shalokim Shutai.
Right, that's what I was.
With a few pages.
Yes.
I don't know. You have to see where the source is when you're saying that he was concerned about the Kopister. But it makes sense. The Kopister was also involved. He was also one of the Chabad Rebbes. So he also had some say, and it doesn't say whether or not he consulted with him.
Well, there is a letter. There is a letter that when the Rashab, this is a letter from the Rebbe Rashab in his Igris, that they shouldn't put the stempel on it in the beginning. There is such a letter.
Yeah, that's something
because
else.
He didn't want the copies to.
Yeah, that's already something else. That's something that Asher Grossman did on his own, without consulting. He decided to write some song praising the Rebbe Rashab. In other words, not directly, but the acronym of Rosh Tevis of Rosh Hashurais. The beginning of each line would read the Shalom Dov Ber or something.
Yes.
And obviously that was meant to praise the Rebbe Rashab, but the Rebbe Rashab was very adamant that
go out because he didn't want to cause any
rift.
Right, and he wanted everyone should receive. But talk about this Indian. So I mean, to say that Tzemach Tzedek did not put in this section about Tzimtzum Lo Kipshutei. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, the Tzemach Tzedek did not make major changes in the Tanya, neither did the Mittler Rebbe. The Mittler Rebbe actually was prepared for print Tanya Widiger Sakoidesh and Kuntes Achron, and he didn't insert the Rebbe Rashab.
Wait, finish your sentence. He didn't insert what?
This big piece about the Tzimtzum that was taken out. Apparently, that Rebbe Rashab felt that now was the time to do it. There was a time when we were more concerned about the Misnagdim.
Right.
We know that Tzemach Tzedek was very instrumental. Tafkuf Tzedek He traveled to Vilna and to Minsk. And what's interesting about that travel is Mamorim that he said over there. He said he ended up traveling over there during the summer, the month of Menachem Av. And yet, so some Mamorim he said were more or less at that time of the year, Echoltzu, but even the Echoltzu, he didn't say it in Matis Masi when it's the Parsha, he said it sometime later. And another Bible that he said over there was Ve'elah Mishpatim. Now, Ve'elah Mishpatim, you would say it's Mishpatim, but Ve'elah Mishpatim because it's a basic mimer explaining why you need a Moshe Rabbeinu in the generation. How Moshe Rabbeinu is instrumental because it's such a basic mimer explaining the need for a Rebbe. Seems that's why the Rebbe, I believe the Tzemach Tzedek said it in Vilna or Korenitz. He actually stopped off at Korenitz on the way to Vilna.
So you're saying, your point is, what was the point you were making?
The point I'm making is that the Tzemach Tzedek was instrumental in bringing Shalom between the Misnagdim and introducing the Misnagdim to Chassidus. And so it took some time to seep in, and apparently the Rebbe Rashab made the decision, but Rabbi Tofrei Samach, they have already acknowledged that, or they are about to acknowledge that.
Okay, but here's another question.
Yes.
If the Alter Rebbe wrote it,
yes.
How is it that even his own son, the Mittler Rebbe, would take it out?
Let's put it this way: if the Alter Rebbe was continued living another 100, 200 years, and he decided in the year Tafresh Samach that now it's time to put in, then nobody would question because
No, right. I'm not asking about the putting it in. That I understand.
Okay.
I'm saying about taking it out. What right does the Mittler Rebbe have to take it out?
It wasn't the Mittler Rebbe who took it out. It was the Alter Rebbe who took it out.
Oh, it was the Alter Rebbe who took it out.
Yeah, the Alter Rebbe took it out. The very first print.
Do we know why he took it out?
Well, it was very evident because at the time the Misnagdim, obviously this was the most basic argument between Hasidim and Misnagdim.
The philosophical issue.
Yes, and because he uses very harsh language against them, Shigas Hatoyim is a reason that he decided he'd rather take it out than play around with.
Right, you're talking about in Perek Beis, the Sharichut, no?
Not Perek Beis, Sharichut.
Doesn't tell the toe shit the toe.
No, that's Madam, that's people or
right.
No, he's not talking about that.
He's talking about the Geras HaKodesh.
We're talking about the Geras HaKodesh. Now, in Sharichut V'Amuna, Perek Zayin.
Perek Zayin.
We talks about Simson Shaloki Pshuta.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Shigas Chomim Beinayim.
Right. So what you're saying is that the Alter Rebbe saw that it's causing great conflict.
The Alter Rebbe knew that it was going to cause conflict, and that's why the Alter Rebbe took it out.
So why did he write it?
No, he wrote it. He wrote it that the people should know the way it is. He didn't write it for them. He wrote it for us. He released it for us. But now that you're going into print, it's for the whole world.
Right. Okay. So what is? So how is this new Tanya? How is it being enriched through these manuscripts that you worked on? Like what is it adding?
If you want to know what my
involvement
in this work was, because they wanted to know, first of all, the location of the manuscripts of the Tzemach Tzedek, of the Tzemach Tzedek Sakois, if I can identify which manuscripts, because by now they had 8 or 9 copies of manuscripts, mostly. Now there's the Kitzer of Tanya that the Tzemach Tzedek wrote. Some of it we have in the Guf Ksav Yad of Tzemach Tzedek, we know which Bichel it is. But there's other things from Tzemach Tzedek that we only have Kisvei Yad Matikim, and we have quite a few. And the Rebbe used certain individual ones. They want to know, can I identify which ones that he used? And I was able to identify certain ones that he used.
That the Rebbe used?
That the Rebbe used, yeah.
How did you do that?
Well, because of the Rebbe describes the Kisvei Yad and
on that Sichem and Beis he showed me.
Not in the Sichem and Beis. It's in the Kitzur Varas he gives descriptions of the different manuscripts. And according to the description and according to looking up, most of them are actually available online.
Right.
So I was able to look it up and determine.
Well, tell me, what do you see in the Rebbe's work on manuscripts? I'd like to hear just a general Hashalem. In your opinion, what do you see? You see Gadlus, you see Katnus, not bad, but what do you see?
Well, the Rebbe had many facets to him. He was a learner, he came up with original explanations, but he also knew how to work with manuscripts and look up manuscripts.
Explain, talk about it. What does that mean?
I'll give you an example. Let's talk about the explanations that the Alter Rebbe gave on the Tanya. So where were they printed? When were they first printed?
Probably look at the Torah and Torah.
No. When look at the Torah and Torah, we have many ma'amorim. But there's one maimer that begins Hinei B'Likutei Amorim, and it's about something in the Alter Rebbe is saying how in the Tanya something is not explained, and now I'll explain it.
Mm-hmm. And where is this printed?
That's printed in Likutei Torah Vayikra. The Tzemach Tzedek put it as a beer on the Maimer of Elei Sashbis. It's the famous beer Elei Sashbis.
Oh, Elei Sashbis. Vayikra.
Right. Yeah, in Parshas.
Okay, go ahead, continue.
Now, but there are mamorim that Alter Rebbe said lahavin mashin is bar mashin kosuf betanya. As a matter of fact, he even refers to page numbers. Daf, this Amid. So you can see that these mamorim were written after the Tanya was already printed. Mm-hmm. You already have page numbers. And those mamorim were first printed. The first few mamorim such were printed in Sefer Mamoria Murazokin as Halach Losnia, and that was printed from a Ksav Yad Maitik, or not just a Ksav Yad Maitik, but a Ksav Yad that the Chassid by the name Rabbi Moliver. He went over a whole bunch of mamorim, mostly Hanochas from the Mitler Rebbe, and he even incorporated some of the Kunter Sachen, which was also in the copies of the Hanochas of the Mitler Rebbe. And so we can tell obviously that those mamorim were sometime after Tavkuf Nun Zayin. I have proof that some of them were actually in the year Tavkuf Nun Ches, and have a shot even when it was said. But what's interesting is that one of these mamorim is so much different. We actually have a Guf Ksav Yad of the Mitler Rebbe, and I would share with you a little about that Ksav Yad because it's the oldest bichul that we have from the Mitler Rebbe, and it contains some mamorim from Tavkuf Nun Zayin, including the Mitler Rebbe's Hanoch of the Anila Doidi, which he begins with the words Inyan Elul Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippurim. Famous Anila Doidi with Alter Rebbe.
Page Lamed Beis. This Shabbos. Right. So he starts with Inyan, Lahav and Inyan.
In his Hanoch it begins Inyan Elul Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippurim.
Okay.
And gives the same content, and right before that is the Maimer of the Shabbos Mevorchim, which preceded it, which was Shabbos Parshas Matzah Masei. There's a Maimer of Ishik Yisidar. As a matter of fact, on the caption it says Biur Divrei Harav Ve'in Ze L'Shoinei Mamish. In other words, the Mitler Rebbe was aware that he's not giving you verbatim the Alter Rebbe's thing. Now, it could be that it's not just referring to that particular Maimer, but to all the Mamorim that he's writing down, especially those Mamorim which he said Berabim, because you have the Hanochas Maril, which is much closer to the way the Alter Rebbe said it, although it's also not precisely the way the Alter Rebbe said it, but his was Mokatchila meant to focus just the Biur Ve'enzel L'Shoinei Mamish.
Interesting.
And what's interesting is that on that Maimer there's another two Mamorim in the same subject, and those are Biurim, seem to be Biurim on that Maimer.
Okay, so continue your thought.
And Rabbi Moliver was Magia, those Mamorim also, both the Ishik Yisidar. As a matter of fact, some of the Hagois that he has on that Maimer, some of the differences in the Ishik Yisidar, seems that he used the Hanoch of the Maril to insert little bits and pieces. Not all of it, some of it is according either to his...
Right, so why are you telling me about the oldest manuscript of the Mitler Rebbe?
What I'm saying is because over there you have one of the Mamorim on Tanya, on Perik Aleph, on the explanations of Perik Aleph.
When you say an explanation, you mean a beer?
I mean a beer on
a Perik and Tanya,
or part of the Perik and Tanya about L'Shem Yichud Kutsha Brichu Shchintei.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that Maimer is quite different. It's not just a few words, but it's almost like it's a whole new Maimer, the way Rabbi Moliver wrote it, the way it's written in the Mitler Rebbe.
Really?
Yeah.
So what does that mean? That means that he added his own explanations.
He added his own explanations, whatever it was. The idea, what we call a Hanocha means how it resonates by two different people heard a Maimer, the Ramosha and the Mitler Rebbe, and each one is writing the way it resonates with him.
That's what Hanocha means?
That's what Hanocha means.
I never thought of Hanocha that way.
Well, it seems...
by our Rebbe, Hanocha's not that way.
So what's interesting is the Rebbe actually addresses the issue that sometimes you have different Hanochas from the same Maimer, different Manichim. And the Rebbe says, could be that he said it differently because not only...
They were saying about his own Maimer, you mean?
Let's take even a Torah that he said Berabim, right?
Yeah. Who was he? Who you?
The Alter Rebbe. The
Alter
Rebbe said Berabim Torah,
yeah.
And Moshe writes it down, and the Mitler Rebbe writes it down, and they're slightly different. Now, it's very possible that in between the writing, let's say during the Shabbos, they would chazer it with him, or they would ask him questions on it, and he would give them an explanation. And could be that to the Mitler Rebbe he gave one explanation, and to Rav Moshe he gave another explanation, because to each he wasn't just telling him, share with him an idea. an idea that can impact his avodas Hashem, and he needs this avoid, and he needs this avoid, and he's.
And
So
therefore, in the way they wrote it up.
And in each one, in his Maim, in his Anocha, incorporated also the additional pieces that.
And you actually see that? You've seen that?
I don't know. I wasn't there, so I can't tell you.
No. But you read the Hanachas for
you see quite many times that it's almost like a different,
really?
different nuances, different explanations. Matir Asurim and Zekif Kefufim, which is higher, which is lower, and you have different explanations. And it could be that obviously they're both correct.
Mm-hmm. And you said earlier that the Mitler Rebbe writes "Ein Zeh L'Shonim Mamish" or something.
Only on this.
No, but you said you extracted. You said possibly. I don't know what's your source. You said maybe it's about all the Maimon.
The reason I'm saying is because it just so happens to be that it's the earliest dated Maimer from all the Mamorim in this. Most of the Mamorim in this Bichel. No. This Bichel is going to be called 1161. That's the number. It's in the Rebbe's library, and the whole Bichel is Guf Ksav Yad of the Mitler Rebbe. Now, the way the pages are numbered are not necessarily the way they were originally written. As a matter of fact, before I believe the Maimer Inyan El Roshana, the one that's on Iladoidi, is page Mem Vov. And the previous pages from Lamed Tes till Mem Hey is these Mamorim that I described, Isha Kisidor,
right,
and Ishtar Kelichboish, and another Maimer on Vayemer Adam Zeisapam, and the way it's laying in the Bichel, you can see that there was the Isha Kisidor is the middle Maimer. And on both sides, when you have your boikin, you fold it, and you fold it this way and that way. So you can see that the pages that's before and the pages after, that's one mimer, that's one hemshech.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, you can tell that Rabbi Molover copied from this bichel after it was already numbered in different ways, because one page he didn't seem to use. And because it was in this bichel, it was separate. This was before, this was after, and he was using, and it seems that he didn't use that other page, because you see everything in that page.
Okay, so now, so when you came across these different bichlach, how do you decide what to put into this Tanya Hashalem?
No, I didn't make those decisions.
I know but you happen to know. Do you happen to know?
Yeah. So when I noticed, for instance, that a particular mimer that in the Guf Savyad because they didn't delve that deeply into the Guf Savyad because it's printed already. And as a matter of fact, I believe could be that mimer, because some of the Mamorim they printed from the Guf Savyad in different Sfarim of the Alter Rebbe, Mamorim Mazokin and Yonim.
Right.
And could be that one was actually printed, and I just pointed out. You see, take out. Obviously, that's an editorial decision for them to make. Rabbi Kaplan, Mendel Kaplan, was instrumental. He was the chief overseer of this project, as far as at least the Biyurim are concerned.
Mm-hmm. Does he have an expertise in this area?
Over the years, obviously he learned and teaches.
Okay, we'll stop here. Wait, we have another segment coming up.